Okay. I'm Ybetha operator. I'm the builder for USAR. I've been builder for 7 years. 7. Um, yeah. So I came from BA, Sharks British Army, when they were founded in about 2015, July 2015. Worked my way to general in that British Army. That was before USAR, and then I knew the USAR, one of the USAR founders. He was a friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, we're starting a US Army group, with shotgun and stuff." I was like, "Oh, cool! I'd love to join." And then I joined. I think we were about like a few thousand members, like 3,000. And it was our first fort, which was Fort Benning. Amazing fort! Oh my god. Very nostalgic. This was 2016 September or November, sorry. Um, then stayed in USAR, but I was also in BA. I was head developer for Sharks British Army. Eventually leaving in 2018 to come to USAR. And then I joined just before the transition period, which then we managed to convince Zan to buy the group. I already knew Zan from BA. He was in my division when I was general, so we already knew each other quite well. So he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this US Army group because it's dying," and it was. It was badly dying for about a year and a half. And he's like, "Yeah, you want to be a builder?" I was like, "Cool, yeah." So I joined the group, and then Pro joined a bit after, and he's like, "Hey," and so me, Pro, and Zan worked on OG Fort Martin, the OG one, which is probably my second favorite fort ever. Then stayed, and then the thing about building a fort is that once you build it, there's nothing to do really. So then I just left, and then came back later, end of 2019, and then we worked on the American border, a few patrol operations maps, Fort Modern updates, new exchange building, and what was that map? The X-71 deployment base. Well, that was pretty good. Then after that, it was a hype period. It was COVID, but again, being a builder, you can't really stay in the group the whole time. So after a few months, I got really bored of it. For old Fort Modern, a lot of people would hate me for saying that, but just because when you've been in the group for so long, it's sort of old for you, and so this is how most people feel now if they've been in the group for a few years. Is they're not really motivated, so most get very bored in the map compared to this one.
Yeah.
And then rejoined to make Fort Jackson, which people really wanted, and then they didn't like it. And I was like, "Oh my god, okay." And then we made the. Then I was like, "Hey, then let's build like a Fort Benning style fort, which was a small one. Go back to our roots." And he's like, "Yeah, good idea." So I built that one, and it was really well anticipated because people didn't like Fort Jackson. And then as soon as we released it, people were like, "Oh, I don't like Fort Jackson anymore. Sorry, I don't like the new fort. I like Fort Jackson." I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" Okay. Which I was like, "What? Doesn't make any sense. Now you like Fort Jackson." I think a month or two after we released the previous fort, I'm not going to say what it's called. I then went, "Okay, you know what? We did a poll and we asked if people like the current layout, and most people said no. So then I said, right, then I'm going to make a new fort again, and then I made this beauty. Credits to James, the modeler, for making the TV screens, chairs, flags, the what do you call it? The bins, signs. What else did he make? Lights? No. Flags. He made the flags. He made the mouse, keyboard. He made the sort of circular curb on the road to make it really realistic and stuff. And then obviously Noah for being a lazy prick. I'm joking. But yeah, we've made this fort, and since then it's just been it's been exponentially increasing activity. Look outside. You can actually see if the camera's showing, but look at how many people are there right now. That's amazing. Oh man. It's such
on a daily
it's the
basis
most
too.
realistic. Yeah. But yeah, we've come a long way. Especially with comparing OG Fort Martin to here, or Fort Benning. This is the most realistic fort on Roblox.
Yeah, well, let's get the story, and we'll move to the first question. So we'll start off with asking about the general opinion about current state of the United States Army, its command, and all the branches or groups in general. So I would first like to ask you about the story and how it started with the working with Xanons, with your development and development career. Yeah, your development in general.
Got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I originally was in Sharks British Army in 2015. Went up to general there, and then I became a head developer in his British Army in 2016. And about that time, one of the founders of USAR, he was in BA, and he said to me, "Hey, I'm starting a US Army. Do you want to join?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, cool." So I joined USAR in the end of 2016, something like that. I stayed in BA as well at the same time, but then after leaving BA in 2018, I came to USAR when pretty much when Zan actually, the group, and he messaged me. He's like, "Hey," because I knew him from BA. He was in my division, and he's like, "Hey, I've bought USAR. Do you want to join the group and become a developer?" I'm like, "Oh wow, wait, what?" He bought the group finally, because it was actually dead like a year and a half before he bought it. I don't think many people know that. It was so dead. And then he's like, "Yeah, let's get to work." I brought back some of the OGs. The owners came back, the founders, and then me, him, and Pro, current CJCS, he's been here for a while now. We made OG Fort Martin, which is my favorite fort, obviously.
Yeah.
And then from there it was just like up. Well, no, it was a bit of an increase, but mainly COVID, drove it up. But yeah, that's a bit about me.
So you've been in here from the start. Actually, that's quite a few years. So yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. Many years. 8 years.
So, what motivates you to keep on developing and working in your current position? What drives you in that?
I think it's mainly the legacy of the group. This is the only group that's kept a legacy of its OG period, where we've actually kept everything pretty much the same, administratively, not technologically, but everything just feels the same. We're just as realistic, if not more. Everything is just so well run nowadays, and Zan is an amazing leader, and it's why I've been in the group as a dev for 6 years still, is because he's such a genuine person, and I've noticed for such a long time that he genuinely cares about the group. He doesn't see it as something for monetary gain. He looks at it more of a community aspect, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that he wants to keep it for its legacy, and it's the best community in the game. And the new developers, we've just been going to scripter, new modeler, they're amazing people as well. Like, they really work hard. Like, they have genuine passion. There's no money grabbing business happening. None of that, genuinely. Like, it's all just passion based. Everything here in the group that's been built on the fort, other games, courthouse, parade grounds, it's been built with passion and scripted with passion. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you could go back a few years and start all over again, what would you do differently? If you had to work on your USAR all over again, what would you do what would you correct? What would you change?
I mean, what I change? To be honest, I think this is the pathway it was supposed to go into, and it was going to eventually. even though people are really nostalgic about different eras of USAR. We have to understand that change is imminent, and this group was very different 8 years ago. It was so different, but these changes happen because people get older and we get new members, new leaders. I really don't think anything would have changed, to be honest. It's ran pretty well, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So to the next question, what is your preferred way of working throughout tough situations?
What's that giggle at the end? I guess just being calm, obviously, being your true self, figuring out a plan, writing things down. I like to write things down and then in dot points and figure out step by step how I'm gonna go through a tough situation, or maybe for university, studying, work, something like that, or even just for USAR generally. So we have a bug, and we have to work out the bug. Okay, let's go through the process, ask people around what's happening, write dot points, and then fix it. And yeah, that's pretty much how you do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's one aspect that you think Xanax's USAR can improve upon?
I'd probably say just being a bit more relaxed. And this is not to any of the higher ranks. I'm talking about generally as a community. I think people, even though the age average has actually increased a lot since like 12, it's now like 17 or something, 18. I think that people have to realize that it's just a game. And it's sort of a free spirited community of people that come together and volunteer their time. And it's really important to keep those aspects. Because if we drift too much into, so I've told Radcat this, is that if we drift too much into a sort of simulatory group where we drive ourselves on medals and achievements rather than actually having a communal gain to the aspect and input that we put into the group, then it just becomes a sort of job rather than an impactful role. And it's something that I think that a lot of people in the group now respectfully do not understand, and it's not their fault because we've engineered the group to be more rewarding based off of chest candy medals rather than the actual memories it make. And as a previous general in USAR and BA, back in those days, in 2017-16, it was more about the community. And even as an O10, I used to spend hours in the game with my division. These people would stay with me for 3 years straight in my division, literally 3 years straight. And it doesn't really happen as much now because more people just joining a division, getting the medals, leaving. Yeah, that's mainly what I would make comment on.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the United States Army as a whole?
Oh, 9.5. Right now, 9.5, definitely. Yeah, it's up from
That's
like
pretty
8
high.
last year. Oh yeah. We had a market saturation last year with Full Jackson, which is when like, a sort of crash happens, you know. So, but now it's just, it's up. This new Ford is up. Everything's up. It's great. Oh, yeah, I'm happy.
All right.
Yeah.
So 2 last questions. What is your favorite branch and why? That's a tough one.
Okay, so Army. What? Branch?
Oh, branch. Yeah, well, I've of course meant command.
Because I laugh.
Yeah.
I would NPC because I was PMG in 2017 when we used to have swords and we would run around killing everyone.
Oh yeah, that's.
You just have swords that just instantly kill people in the game. Yeah, NPC.
That's
not now. No offense, Infinity Cat, but yeah, it's my favorite division though. It's great. Memories.
All right, for a fun reason too. Okay, last one. What do you think of the current United States Army staff, and what could they improve about themselves?
I think the current we've probably got the best administration and staff in about 2.5 years. Very motivated people. Pros returned a 7th time now. Be pro. And with that, he gives a lot of wisdom and he works hard. he's got a good team under him, which work hard as well. I would say that they should probably, respectfully, these are nice people, but they should spend more time on working out how they can improve on the community, really, because I knew the founders, and when they rejoined the group in 2019, 2020, they were the CSA and stuff, and these people would spend so many hours talking to me about and Zan about the improvements we can make on the community. Respectfully, that's not really shown as much now. It's more of a rank. Voice crack. But I do respect them a lot. But I do think, respectfully, they need to understand that they need to put a little bit more effort into doing community events and things like that, and being really good leaders, just sort of uplifting those ethical standards for the group, and just morally being a good leader, someone to look up to and to respect, obviously, because I treat everyone with the same amount of respect. An E2 is the same as an O10 to me. I talk to everyone in the game, so it's just really about another thing, removing ego. It's very important, especially in these Roblox groups. And I used to have it years back, but then you humble yourself and then you just respect everyone. So they have to realize they're having a sort of sugar rush with ego, and they need to understand that in a few years' time you can look back and realize, I was quite strict on people. I should have been more of a communal person. So that's the main advice I'd give.